Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or the guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Shirley Merritt, and I'd like to welcome you to my show. I call it Raspberry Lemonade. Let's talk. Today, I would like to talk about a touchy, sensitive subject. It's a situation that I kind of have little control of, but I would like to share it with you because I'm sure that there are others, so many others probably, that experience the same thing every day. As multiple sclerosis warriors and survivors, we find that there are different assistive devices that will enable us to have a better quality of life. The assistive device that I'm speaking about in particular is called a Bioness. I hope you all have heard of this. However, I've encountered many people with MS who have not. It is very beneficial for enabling us to lift up our legs and our feet and walk without stumbling or tripping up over rugs and things. If it weren't for the Bioness, I would be confined probably to a wheelchair or a power chair because it is so difficult for me to pick up my right leg and walk. My hip flexor muscle is extremely weak. Therefore, doing simple things like crossing my right leg over the left just doesn't happen anymore for me. When I go to my doctor's exam visits, and you know how they ask you to lift your knee so they can see how much strength you have in that leg? Well, the other one lifts, but the right leg does not. I have to use a leg lifter to get into bed and to get into my car. This is what multiple sclerosis has done to me. It has taken away the use and most of the function of my right leg, unfortunately. I never fathomed that I would have an illness in my life that would take away my ability or affect my mobility. I'm actually able to walk with the use of a walker, and I'm trying to graduate to a cane, a quad cane that is. I think it would be a long time, if at all, that I would be able to use a single tip cane. However, I am very hopeful. I just don't know if it's in God's plan for it to happen for me. But I will continue with physical therapy to try to see if I can make it a reality. My quad cane would be a wonderful thing, to say the least, if I could at least graduate from the walker to be able to use the quad cane. The Bioness may help make this possible. It's a functional electrical stimulator. Basically, it sends you wear a cuff around your leg. It's at the top. It's kind of like it almost looks like a leg weight, but wider, and it fastens around my leg just below the knee and right above the calf. I have a foot sensor which attaches to my shoe, and I can unattach it and reattach it to any shoe that I want to wear, as long as that shoe supports my heel in the shoe, because there's a foot sensor that snaps onto my shoe, and there's a foot sensor that goes under my heel, and that actually works with the leg cuff. Then there's also a third component. It is a control unit. And basically I can adjust and control the speed and the level of stimulation that will be felt by my leg muscle. So as my foot or my leg engages in the motion of taking a step, the units work together. All three components work together to send a signal to my leg muscle, my lower leg muscle. It's like the muscle around your shin, if you will, and it basically tells it to move. So if you're not familiar with the bias and how it works, I'll try my best to describe it. It's my gift from God. Without the bias, my leg is kind of useless. It's almost like carrying dead weight. It just drags. It's very difficult to maneuver even through my own home without the bias. With the bias, I turn it on, and once I take a step, it sends this signal to the leg, and my leg lifts. It's amazing the difference that I feel and that I experience. I'm such an independent person, and this bias equipment allows me to be able to retain my independence. Without it, I wouldn't be able to walk. I would be restricted or confined, if you will, to a wheelchair or a power chair, simply because my right leg doesn't want to work the way it's supposed to, the way God made it to. So this is the reason, here's the reason why I'm talking about the bias today, and the reason why I'm sharing this information with you. Number one, it's to enlighten you, or those of you who've never heard of it, to let you know that there's some hope. Now, the dilemma is whether or not you have the right insurance that will approve it. I had insurance when I first got my bias unit several years ago. I had insurance, and of course I won't mention the company, but they approved it. I believe I was one of those first people who were approved in my area. So now Bionics has come out with a better, newer, upgraded version, if you will. And it's called the L300 Go Plus. And it consists of another component, and this one is worn around the thigh. It's a cuff, just like the one that's worn around the leg, the lower leg, but this one fastens around the upper thigh, and it sends an electrical impulse or stimulant to your thigh muscle. It enables your quads and your hamstrings to work, if you will, or to function more properly. This helps or aids in your maneuvering. It allows me to be able to ambulate in a way that I never have before, since I became disabled and lost function of my leg and my thigh. When I first tried it on with the clinical physical therapist, when I was first fitted with it, and we had an evaluation, it was amazing. I said, "Oh my gosh, my first Bioness unit, the one I have now, it works so well, but this one is even better. It's new and improved, and it sends that stimulant to your thigh, which is amazing. It's an amazing feeling to be able to feel the nerves working with your muscles to actually cause your leg to lift, and you can put one foot in front of the other. Remember the song on the Christmas cartoon? Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. So anyway, that's what happens. You put one foot in front of the other, whereas before you weren't able to. Again, it's an incredible feeling to be able to walk. And then when I turn it off, when I'm showing people how it works, and I show them, I said, okay, I'm turning this on, and they watch it, how it works, and they're amazed how I'm lifting my leg because when I turn it off, it just drags, or it just stays stuck on the ground. I'm laughing, but it's not a funny matter. Okay, so the reason for me talking about this incredible piece of equipment is because my previous insurance, as I mentioned earlier, paid for this initial unit several years ago. However, in January, I changed insurance companies, and guess what? I've reached a roadblock. This new insurance will not cover it. I've even appealed, and they've denied my appeal. They've sent it to a third party who basically reviews the Medicare guidelines and decides if they will approve this for you or not. Although I'm hopeful, there's a part of me that's doubtful, and I may have to go through other measures to try to get this piece of upgraded equipment so that I can continue my independence and my anticipated improved mobility, if you will. I will not give up on this. It is very near and dear to my heart. I long, more than anything else, I long to keep my independence, and I almost refuse to succumb to a wheelchair or a power chair. My home is not conducive of this power chair or this wheelchair. My doors are small. My doorways are small, and I have to actually turn sideways to enter, to go in or come out of my doorways because the walker, they're not wide enough for the walker to go through. If I go through the regular straight way. So I have to turn sideways, which is not hard at all. But it would be impossible to get a chair. Plus, if I can walk, why would I want to succumb to a chair? Why would any of us want to be in a power chair or a wheelchair? And what insurance companies are lacking is empathy. Whoever makes the decision on these things, they are so unempathetic, and it's just disheartening. it breaks my heart. When I read that letter of denial, I was thinking, I've called probably 3 times and spoken with the appeals department to try to find out exactly why they are denying this piece of equipment that would enable me to continue my independence. And I've had different responses from different representatives. Some agree with me that they don't understand why this would not be approved. And of course, these are customer service people. They have nothing to do with the actual appeal process. And then I've had people that go strictly by the rules, and they just said, well, this is the decision your insurance company has made. But this morning, I was on the phone with another representative regarding my appeal because I had received the denial. And she was very empathetic. And she said, I don't understand how this could not be approved. And so it's gone to this third party who will make the ultimate decision. And I want to be hopeful. I want to be. And she told me to be hopeful because she seems to believe that the reason why I was sent to this third party was because maybe my insurance, who goes by Medicare guidelines, feels like since they are unable to approve it, maybe this third party will. Well, I gladly welcome her positive attitude about it, and the fact that she was making me feel better. I wish I could adopt that same enthusiasm, if you will, and become more hopeful that this time maybe they would approve this piece of equipment, which is so very essential and necessary for me to be able to continue to have my independence. So, I had with the appeal process, I had letters. I had 3 letters that I submitted. One was from myself. It was me basically stating my case and acting as an advocate for myself, explaining to my insurance company why this piece of equipment is so very essential and very necessary in order for me to be able to ambulate at all and keep my independence, because I live by myself and I have no one to help me. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that in a happy, positive way, because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Right? So I love being in the position where I can be an advocate for myself. And I typed with one hand, of course, because I don't have the ability to use my right hand. So I typed a letter to them with my left hand. And it was basically, like I said, being an advocate for myself. Trying to convince them that I need this piece of equipment to be able to live my independent and worry-free life. Then my second letter was from my physical therapist. I've been seeing them for about 5 weeks, and I've demonstrated to them how beneficial this piece of equipment is to me. Basically, I've taken it off, or not taken it off, but turned it off, and attempted to walk. And they can see how this is necessary for me to be able to ambulate. It's not that I ambulate better, it's that I ambulate, period. Without it, the right leg won't move. It's very hard to get it to move. Just walking from my bedroom to the kitchen is so tiring without the Bioness unit that I sometimes skip important meals in the morning, like breakfast, simply because I don't feel like walking to the kitchen. I don't feel like exerting that kind of energy to walk all of the way to the kitchen. My house is not huge. It's not that big, but there's a long stroll when you consider the fact that I have this disability. It feels like a long stroll from my bedroom to the kitchen, from one end of the house to the other. And there are so many times when I want to eat something for breakfast, but I just skip it because I have not showered yet. You have to shower before you can, or bathe before you can put the Bioness on, because you don't want to have any skin cells or bacteria or germs on your skin when you wear the device. When you put the device on, it needs to be clean skin. And because when I wake up in the morning, I may do some important things before I shower and get ready for my day. I may get up and get on the computer, or there might be something on television that I need to watch or listen to. It could be the news or some talk show, or just whatever that I may need to do. And I may not especially since I'm on disability and I do not work, I may not shower first thing in the morning like I did when I was working and getting up early every day to go to work. So I'm saying all that to say that I may not be in a situation where I can put the Bioness unit on my leg and walk through the kitchen. So I end up skipping breakfast, which is an important meal, for the day. And Dr. Oz, according to Dr. Oz recently, it may not necessarily be as necessary as we were always brought up to believe. So I'm saying all this to say, I'm really trying to figure out how I can get this Bioness. Now, there are some other options that I am considering. I have been in touch with Bioness, and they have told me that some people who cannot get their insurance to approve this for them, they have gone to organizations, charitable organizations that will give donations that can go toward this. This new and improved Bioness unit cost around $8,000. Whereas the previous one, the one that I have now, was about $6,000. So it's a very expensive piece of equipment, but it's worth, like I said, it's my gift from God. It's worth so much more because it gives me my independence, something that is priceless. Its value is it's not even measurable. It's immeasurable. So anyway, back to what I was talking about the price, and the other organizations that might be able to help fund this. A Bioness representative told me that she had customers that reached out to certain organizations, and they were able to fund this for her by giving donations toward it. Organizations such as, there's one called I'll think of it in a minute. But okay, I'll go on to the ones that I can remember, that I can easily remember. The MS Society. She said the MS Society, the donations were broken down to separate entities of this organization. MS Bike gave a certain amount. MS Walk gave a certain amount. MS Society, period, gave a certain amount. That was 3 right there. And then, what is this other one? There was another organization that I called. Oh, I can't remember it, but anyway, she gave me about 6 organizations that may be able to assist. And so I'm in the process now of calling them to find out who might be willing to help me so that I can get my Bioness unit, something that is so necessary to me in order to help me keep my mobility. So I am in the process of doing everything that I can to call different organizations. She's that call the MS Foundation, and I know their funds they've helped me in the past with things, and she said, she just gave me a list of different things, different places where I can call to try to get assistance in getting my unit. God willing, I will be able to get this unit. And I'm telling you, people, if anyone has what they call foot drop, I call it leg drag, if you will, because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're dragging your leg. But if there's anyone out there that experiences the same situation that I am experiencing, you know exactly what I mean, and you know how important it will be for me to get this, and for you or anyone you know in this situation to get this unit. So we're getting near the end of my show. I just wanted to leave you with some words that whatever you're going through, just believe, don't give up, think positive, and you will be able to make it happen with the help of God. I want to sign off now. I want to say goodbye. Goodbye to everyone. Come back next week and listen to my next show, and just have a wonderful, positive experience. Bye.